Hello everyone, lovely to see you all with us today. Dasho Secretary, Madam First Secretary, distinguished guests, dear graduates, dear colleagues and friends. As you know, my name is Eva Filipiak and I'm the International Director at TAFE Directors Australia and your facilitator today. It is my great pleasure to welcome you to this virtual graduation ceremony for training courses delivered as part of the Australia-Bhutan TVET Sector Reform Project. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge the presence with us today of Dasho Secretary of the Bhutanese Ministry of Labour and Human Resources, Mrs. Tashi Wangmo. It is an honor to have you with us today, and many thanks for the great work that your teams have put into the project to make it a success. We are also privileged to be joined by Mrs. Belinda Costin and Mr. Vichy from the Australian Department of Foreign Affairs, and without whose continuing support this project couldn't take place. Finally, I would also like to acknowledge the presence with us today of senior executives and trainers from TAFE Queensland and Melbourne Polytechnic, two Australian TAFEs who have been critical in implementing the project and running the training courses. Many thanks for sharing your expertise and enthusiasm with our Bhutanese partners and friends. Now, coming back to today's event, it will be structured as follows. In the first 30 minutes or so, we will pass the floor to our distinguished guest, Dasho Secretary and Mrs. Belinda Costin, for some opening remarks, as well as we would invite two course graduates to share their experience and key takeaways from the courses. We will then proceed to the graduation ceremony itself. Unfortunately, due to the restrictions in place in Bhutan at the moment, we are unable to hold an in-person event. However, luckily we have the technology that allows us to celebrate the graduates' achievements today, albeit remotely. Some quick housekeeping rules before we start. Kindly ensure that your microphone is on mute if you're not speaking. And also note that we will take a virtual group photo at the end of the graduation, so please stay with us until the end of the event. And finally, note that this event is being recorded and will be shared with the invitees who were not able to attend today's ceremony. Without further ado, I will now pass the floor to Mrs. Belinda Costin, First Secretary, Economic Development at the Australian High Commission in New Delhi, India. Belinda, over to you.
Thank you very much, Eva. Dasho Secretary, Madam First Secretary, members of the Ministry of Labour and Human Resources, TAFE Queensland, Melbourne Polytechnic, TAFE Directors Australia, and of course our graduates. Good morning and good afternoon. Australia's Deputy High Commissioner to Bhutan, Ms. Sarah Story, is unfortunately unable to join us today, but she sends her well wishes and congratulations to everyone on the successful completion of these three courses. My name is Belinda Costin, as Eva has said, and I will be providing some brief remarks in our Deputy High Commissioner's place. The Australian government is very pleased to have been able to partner with the Royal Government of Bhutan on its priority of strengthening the TVET sector and giving people the skills to support Bhutan's economic growth and development. Australia and Bhutan are long-standing and close partners. This year, we celebrate our 20th year in diplomatic relations. The focus of our cooperation has always been on supporting Bhutan's human capital, whether through our Australia Awards Scholarships Program, the Volunteers Australia Program, or through the work that brings us together today, the Australia-Bhutan TVET Sector Reform Project. In less than a year, this TVET Sector Reform Project has delivered a number of successes, and this despite the challenges presented by border closures and lockdowns in both Australia and Bhutan. TDA Australia, TAFE Queensland, and Melbourne Polytechnic, together with the MOLHR and the participants, were able to quickly shift modalities to online platforms, showing us how new technologies and innovation can help us overcome challenges and indeed present us with opportunities to deliver more. One of the most successful parts of the projects was capacity building programs for Bhutanese trainers, ministry officials, and industry. Investing in people, their skills, knowledge, and capabilities is one of the most powerful and sustainable ways to support a country's development. The project delivered courses in teacher training, occupational health and safety, and competency-based assessment to 6 groups with 75 participants successfully completing the courses. We are here to acknowledge their work today and celebrate them and their personal achievements. We would also like to acknowledge the excellent work of TAFE Queensland and Melbourne Polytechnic, 2 Australian TAFEs leading in policy advice and capacity building internationally. While remote delivery has many benefits, it can present some challenges, and at times the teams were able to navigate these difficulties with boundless creativity and dedication. I'd also like to thank TAFE Directors Australia, in particular Eva, for her endless dedication to this project. It was her commitment and resourcefulness that enabled this project to deliver more than we thought possible. TDA has been a commendable partner to the Australian and Bhutanese governments in making these courses such a success. Lastly, I'd like to thank DASHO Secretary and MOLHR for your continued cooperation with us. It has been a privilege to partner with you, and we look forward to continuing to support you as you deliver Bhutan's human capital agenda. And of course, to all the participants, congratulations on all your hard work. I wish you every success in your future endeavors as you contribute to the growth and development of Bhutan. And I'm sure our paths will cross along the way as we continue to partner closely with the government of Bhutan. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Belinda, for your kind words. And I would like now to pass the floor to DASHO Secretary Tashi Wangbo from the Ministry of Labour and Human Resources. Thank you.
Thank you, Eva. On behalf of the Ministry of Labour and Human Resources, let me extend a very warm greetings to our distinguished delegates from Australia, Mrs. Belinda Costin, First Secretary of the Economic Development, Australian High Commission, New Delhi, Mrs. Eva Philippek, International Director, TAFE Directors Australia, and representatives from TAFE Queensland and Melbourne Polytechnic. On this side of the screen, I'm being joined by the representatives from Tourism Council of Bhutan, Royal Institute of Tourism and Hospitality, private industries, my colleagues from the Ministry of Labour and Human Resources, and principals from the Technical Training Institutes. Once again, let me welcome all of you to this very important event that marks the graduation ceremony of Bhutan, Australia, Tibet System Reform Project. Firstly, let me congratulate our 72 graduating trainees who have successfully completed international skills training courses on 2 very important areas: occupational health and safety and competency-based assessment. I'm particularly very happy to learn that since the letter of intent was signed between the Government of New South Wales and the Ministry of Labour and Human Resources in 2016, a total of 108 TVET professionals and managers have benefited from capacity development training with the technical support of TAFE Australia. Let me share with all the distinguished delegates here. Bhutan's association with Australia in the field of TVET actually goes far back to the late 90s and 2000, because I recall when I first joined as a young officer in Daden Technical Training Authority, National Technical Training Authority, in 2000, my colleagues were mentioning about an expert from Australia who briefly introduced us to the Australian qualification framework. That I would like to believe is a symbolic beginning of an enhanced collaboration that was to follow 2 decades later. Based on the resounding success with the initial phase of collaboration with TAFE Australia, the Ministry of Labour and Human Resources had submitted a proposal to the Government of Australia in 2017 for an enhanced collaboration to strengthen Bhutan's TVET system. We are highly grateful that the project proposal was endorsed by the Government of Australia in the beginning of 2020 and was launched on March 1, 2021, in the presence of my predecessor, Mr. Sonam Chu, and His Excellency, Bryce Hutchison, Deputy Head of Mission at the Australian High Commission in New Delhi. Despite many challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic, I'm impressed that the IST courses for occupational health and safety and competency-based assessment training could be successfully implemented. And today we have 72 proud individuals who have acquired much needed knowledge and skills in these two fields. I would like to also share that this training capacity building in these two fields will go a long way in addressing impending youth unemployment problem in Bhutan. Establishment of good occupational health and safety practices in industries is critical for ensuring conducive working environment for industries, because that is the reason, one of the reasons for our youth not taking up blue-collar jobs. Through this training, I am confident that all our colleagues who have benefited from this training will go back to their industries and organizations and will bring about much better, much needed change in the working environment through establishment of good OHS practices. Likewise, competency-based assessment is a critical part of TVET system. It ensures quality of both training delivery as well as skilled workforce. If we are to encourage more youth to take up jobs in vocational trades, their skills will have to be professionalized. By strengthening national assessment and certification system is one of the promising way forward. I'm deeply thankful to the CEO of TAFE Directors Australia, and in particular, TAFE Queensland and Melbourne Polytechnic for the technical support provided in the implementation of these training courses. Going forward, as the Ministry of Labour and Human Resources embarks on the implementation of its TVET reform plans, we would like to seek the Government of Australia's continued support and cooperation in capacity development of TVET professionals and managers, particularly in the area of Bhutan Vocational Qualification Framework implementation. Before I conclude, I would like to thank Mr. Vishi from Australian High Commission, New Delhi, for providing us with all the necessary support and facilitation in materializing this project. I would also like to thank Mrs. Eva Filipek for all your support in coordinating timely and successful implementation of these project activities. With this, let me once again congratulate all 72 graduating trainees today, and also thank all our distinguished delegates for gracing this event. Thank you very much, and hope to see you all in the near future in person.
Many thanks, Dasha Secretary, for these kind words. And I'm also happy to report that just in the last few days, we had additional submissions. So we have even more successful graduates from program, which is excellent. So well done to everyone. And I would like now to pass the floor to two participants to have a participant view on the program and what they took out of it. And I would like to first invite Mr. Karma Doji, Deputy CPO at the Department of Technical Education, who also has been instrumental in organizing these capacity building activities. So over to you, Karma. You have the floor. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Ewa. Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Honorable Secretary, Ministry of Labour and Human Resources, Dr. Tashi Wangmo, Ms. Belinda Costin, the first Secretary of Australian High Commissions, New Delhi, Mr. Jerry Dodd, CEO of TAFE Directors Australia, Ms. Ewa, TAFE Director Australia, Mr. Vishi, and representative from TAFE Queensland, Melbourne Polytechnic, and from our side, our director, Mr. Nobuang Chu, and the participants from RITH, Technical Training Institutes, and private training institutes. I, on behalf of my team and on my own behalf would like to wish you all a very good morning and good afternoon, and would like to express our sincere congratulations to all the organizers and the participants for making this training a very successful despite many challenges posed by our pandemic situations. As per the agenda, I'm supposed to give some of the key takeaway and feedback of the session. Though we would have preferred to have a face-to-face training, but due to the current pandemic situations, it doesn't allow us to have a face-to-face and contact hour of sessions. However, with the leadership and coordination of Ms. Ewa and her team and the representative from different deaf institutions, made this happen, made this event possible even through this new normal system, where our participants, especially I'm representing the group of assessment and assessors training group, where initially we had our reservations how we could really complete this training through virtual sessions. However, despite some challenges, we could get through, and the resource persons from both Melbourne Polytechnic and TEF Queensland were instrumental in keeping us engaged, though it is virtual sessions, and it really made us to learn a lot, to adopt the new normal way of learning. And through their sessions, we could really get into reflections of our own national assessment system. So we have also identified some of the gaps and loopholes that are existing in our system, and we are also joined by our colleague from assessment divisions. They have already working on fixing some of the loopholes that we have realized immediately after attending this program. So that really made us a big impact, and fixing our bugs in our system. And through the vigorous training for our SSS learn a comprehensive process of assessment resource development. In that also we have identified some gap and loopholes in our current systems, and we are sure that when the situation improves, we'll get together and then we'll really analyze our current system and then make an improvement to follow the system and practices, best practices followed by the TEF in Australia. So we are quite confident that we can make lots of improvement our existing system through adoptions of best practices. And through this training, I think we have a pool of certified assessor from internationally recognized institutions like TEF Queensland and Melbourne Polytechnics, which actually puts us additional confidence in ourselves. And we are very positive that we can use it for positive development and enhancement of our Tibet sector in terms of quality, and contribute towards realizing our national goal of Tibet reform initiatives that currently our ministry is taking up. So with this, I would like to thank Ms. Ewa for giving us this opportunity and accommodating especially the officials from ministries to take up assessment training and competence-based training, which has actually enlightened us in terms of competence-based training and assessment system that is very crucial and important for us to learn. And I would like to thank the Australian High Commissions and the DFAT office in New Delhi for rendering their support and always giving us support for capacity building. And lastly, I would like to thank our special person who were very instrumental in sharing their experience, expertise without any reservation. So we are very fortunate to have them as our resource persons. We have Mr. Michael Callan and Mr. Stephen and Mr. Som for sharing us and being very open to any kind of discussions and accommodating any kind of difficulties and challenges and making this training successful. So we look forward to learn more from them and meet them in person in future. Thank you and Tashtele. Back to you, Mr. Ewa. Miss Ewa, sorry.
Thank you so much, Mr. Karma. And I fully agree with you. It wasn't easy every day, but I think that our collective effort to be flexible, to find ways to make things work really had bear its fruit and has been successful. So well done to indeed all the participants, the trainers. It is a new world that we're exploring, that world on online delivery, and I think we've collectively learned a lot, and hopefully that will also be something that Bhutan can use in the future, given the geography. So really thanks for these warm and kind words, and it's been a privilege to work with you, and it's not done. We still have a few more things we can do together. And I would now like to pass the floor to a second participant, and looking forward to hearing his point of view. So Dawa Zangbo, Safety and Environment Officer and Vajra Builder Private Limited. Please, you have the floor, and we would really be very keen to have your feedback on the OHS course from your perspective as industry. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Eva. Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. I am Dawa Zangmo, and I represent Vajra Builder Private Limited, a private construction company in Bhutan. I have been working with the company for 4 years now, looking after occupational health and safety at workplace. It is a pleasure for me to be able to share my experience on the training courses that I have attended. Well, without a second thought, I would like to say that the particular training had been extremely useful to me, and I am sure it will go a long way in adding values to what we have been doing so far in Bhutan. Particularly in the company that I work with, it comes as a blessing in terms of the continuous effort it has taken in trying to implement occupational health and safety at workplace so far, even without such formal trainings. So therefore, I, on behalf of Vajra Builder Private Limited, would like to take this opportunity to thank the Ministry of Labor and Human Resources for giving us the opportunity to participate in this training, and Australia-Bhutan Tibet Sector Reform Project for the continued support. Lastly, I would like to thank the Ministry for nominating me to speak at the graduation ceremony today. I am honored and privileged to be a part of the team today. Thank you and Kajin Shila.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Dawa, and it's great to have had you as part of the training and to build occupational health and safety skills in Bhutan. I think this is a very needed set of skills, and you'll be, you know, your experience will be critical both in your industry and beyond. So well done, and we hope that the training provided will help further. Help the sector be more safe and for all workers. So that concludes our introductory part, and I'm very pleased to now proceed to the graduation ceremony itself, which is why we're here today. So let me share some slides that will guide us through that second part of the event. So I hope everybody can see. So it is, as we said, unfortunately, due to the lockdowns in Bhutan, we are unable to have the face-to-face graduation and handing of certificates in Thimphu, but we tried to organize something that at least gives you the opportunity to be recognized and to be celebrated for your hard work and your achievement. And so the way we suggest that we move forward is that my colleague from the Ministry of Labor and Human Resources and another instrumental person that I couldn't thank more for her support throughout the project, Mrs. Namge Wangbo will be here to read out the names of the successful participants while we show their names on the slides. And before each course, we also give the floor to the representatives of TAFE Queensland and Melbourne Polytechnic to give us a quick overview of what the courses were and what their aims were, so that everybody, you know, has a good understanding or an idea of what the courses were about. So without further ado, let's move to the first lot of courses, which are the IST programs, or the International Skills Training Programs, Trainer and Assessor. So I will pass the floor to Caroline Lewis, Specialist Advisor, Strategic Projects and Business Development at TAFE Queensland, to provide that quick overview. And as well, I would like to pass the apology of Mr. Russell Mackey, who is TAFE Queensland Executive Director, International Development, and who was meant to join us here today, but who is unfortunately unavailable for health reasons. So Caroline, who is a wonderful person to speak because she has been so closely involved in the project. So over to you, Caroline, to tell us a little bit briefly about the ISD courses.
Thank you, Eva. Dasho Secretary, representatives of the Australian Government, distinguished guests, graduands, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and good afternoon. As Eva says, please accept the apologies for Mr. Russell Mackay, who's the Executive Director for TAFE Queensland International Education. However, as TAFE Queensland's representative, I wish to congratulate the graduating class of 2021 of the International Skills Training courses for your dedication, hard work, and for meeting the challenges of your chosen field of study. The IST courses are a training suite offered by the Australian Government to support global demand for quality training and assessment skills, which bolster aspirations for economic growth. They are based on the Certificate 4 of Training and Assessment required from all Australian trainers to ensure that they have the pedagogical tools to teach TVET courses in the most effective and meaningful way. The IST courses have been tailored for flexible offshore delivery by licensed Australian registered training organisations such as TAFE Queensland and Melbourne Polytechnic, and can be delivered across a range of skills training sectors and industries. And in the case of this project, tourism and hospitality and the occupational health and safety. While traditionally delivered in a face-to-face format, in light of the travel restrictions due to the pandemic, the IST courses offered as part of this project have been delivered online, with training sessions facilitated by an Australian trainer taking place twice a week for 4 weeks for the trainer course and 6 weeks for the assessor course between June and November in 2021. We hope that despite some minor technical issues, the participants have appreciated learning in this new format, and that this experience has given them some ideas on how online and blended delivery could be used in Bhutan. To our graduates today, present here today, a graduation ceremony is the pinnacle of a person's academic achievements, acknowledges the hard work that you've undertaken, recognises those skills and knowledge gained, and provides a pathway to a lifelong career. Your program may have challenged you in many ways and concepts that are new to you, so you should be proud that you have successfully met those challenges and successfully completed the program. We hope that you will see a marked improvement in your confidence in competency-based training delivery, have a stronger focus on reviewing industry standards, and can develop a more structured approach to your training delivery and assessment methodologies. In closing, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank your instructors, Mr. Stephen Duncan, Mr. Soumya Bose, and Ms. Rosalie Coulmain, as well as acknowledging TAFE Directors Australia's contribution to managing this project from the initial concept to this graduation ceremony and beyond. Last but not least, to Mr. Karma Dorji, I would like to sincerely thank you for your ongoing support in making these programs happen. We are available to continue supporting Bhutan in the future of their journey. And in the meantime, thank you for your excellent collaboration to date. Congratulations to the graduates. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Caroline. So indeed, we had a number of courses that were IST courses delivered. I will shortly just share with you how the certificate that will be sent to you after the event looks like. So an Australian government endorsed certificate that will be shared with you. And I now invite Mrs. Namgay Wangbo to read out the names of the successful participants of the first course, the IST TVET C001 trainer course, focused on tourism and hospitality and delivered by TAFE Queensland. And I invite also the graduates to turn their camera on while their name is being read so that we can celebrate and that we can see them and applaud them at the end of their names being called out. So Nanme, over to you.
Thank you, Ewa. Thanks so much. First, the name is Mr. Ugindoji. Dishinjanga Jimino Wangmu Bemo Stringden Chongren's.
Wonderful. A round of applause for our graduates from the IST TVET C001 trainer course. Well done. We will move to the trainer course focused on occupational health and safety. This is done chronologically and so delivered by Melbourne Polytechnic. Mr. Michael, who unfortunately was out of station, as Bhutan would have said, but is joined in spirit with us today. Namgay, over to you once again to call out the names of the graduates.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Karma Chogel, Sangi Doji, Ms. Sring Yangdon, Ash Badasuba, Chuki Wangmu, Mr. Dashitopke, Mr. Sring Jatso, and Mr. Rudra Pastra Dungana, and Chuki Tine. Congrats.
Congratulations to all. Well done. Moving now to the second group who took the trainer course with a focus on tourism and hospitality and delivered by TAFE Queensland. So Naimge, you have the floor. I don't dare pronouncing the names because I will have them wrong, so I'm happy that you're reading them out.
Okay, Chuni Dema, Miss Kilewangmo, Mr. Nima Tenzin, Miss Norbuchki, Pema Teten, Pema Zam, actually, that's, and Sangil Hamo, and Tashil Hadin, and Tong Yudin.
Congratulations to the second tourism hospitality group. Well done. And the last of the IST courses delivered through this program was the IST TVET C002 assessor course. And we're very proud to say that all participants of the program have successfully completed the course. So we have 18 graduates for this course, and Namge will just read out the names now.
Ugendoji, Chukitenle, Pema Choden, Parkash Sakri, Rinchin Doji, Tashi Punzo, Tashi Tashi, Stringelton, Yishu Wangdi, Sangi Raptin, Sonam Doji, Leki Doji, Sonam Palin Doji, Sonam Wangdi, Tashi Chaje, and String Tenzin, Pema Tenzin, Jimmy Doji. Congrats.
Congratulations, a great group. And, you know, it was also a longer program than the trainer one, so well done. We will now move to the next course, which was the occupational health and safety training course delivered by Melbourne Polytechnic. And I will pass the floor to Tim Gilbert, who is the Vice President, International Development from memory at Melbourne Polytechnic, and who has been supporting us throughout that program as well. And again, Mr. Michael being Michael Callahan being the trainer for this course. So Tim, if you could just give us a quick overview of the program before we move forward with announcing the graduates.
Thank you very much, Eva. And it's fantastic to hear the student feedback and industry feedback earlier. And I'll be passing that back on to Michael, the trainer, and also our senior leadership here at Melbourne Polytechnic. I'd like to offer a thank you to DFAT for providing the funding, and also to Eva from TDA for all of your dedication and support for everyone in managing these programs. Collaborating with TAFE Queensland enables us to pool our collective thoughts and refine our project delivery. Thank you to the Ministry of Labour and Human Resources, and in particular, Mrs. Namgay Wangmo for her efforts in organising the students for the training programs. I believe and appreciate that there are a lot of complexities in bringing together so many busy people and finalising the delivery dates and schedules. So for this OHS group, this course provided the opportunity for open and constructive conversation on many aspects of safety in the workplace and in educating young builders and so forth. The discussion on the current reality of workplace safety made it possible to understand what is needed to be focused on in Bhutan in the industry. Working with the ministry and the industry sectors provided the necessary insights for future improvements. My thanks to the students for their discussion and their contributions and providing their own workplace improvement plans. Their dedication to the task will have made their workplaces a safer place to come to every day. Congratulations to all the graduates. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim, and indeed great to point out that there was a workplace aspect of this course that meant that participants could apply their newly acquired knowledge to their workplace, which is fabulous. So I will share with you just a sample of the certificate that the graduates will be receiving, and we have here the list of the graduates for this program. Please, Namgay, over to you.
Okay, the first person to name is Anup Gale, Chuki, Dawazangmo, Gele Doji, Jumi Doji, Karmachedup, Kim Badru Kamal, Kunzang Chuki, Pabrita Pardan, Robi Gurung, Sonam Gale Doji, Sonam Gale Doji, Tili Galton, Tili Punzo, Tupten Ji Doji, Sring Namgel, Sring Norbu Jimba, Sentup Zambo, and lastly, Yunten Jamso.
Wonderful. Big congratulations to all graduates for this 10-week course. So quite a big commitment from everyone and people who are very busy. So well done on this. And we will finally move to the last program, which was the competency-based assessment training program, also delivered by Melbourne Polytechnic. So I'll pass the floor to Tim to quickly say a few words about it.
Thanks again, Eva. I think I'm muted. Yeah, that's right. Look, the competency-based training program for the Ministry of Labour and Human Resources looked at three main areas. One was the benefits of a national assessment system, best practice in developing assessment tools, assessor competencies. During the delivery of this training, we were able to identify the key issues around assessing competency and how this would assist in strengthening the assessment processes in Bhutan. Once again, the benefits of open and frank discussion have led to positive outcomes. The willingness of participants to share their experiences and for us to speak about our assessment practices and why we believe they are best practice led us to our main focus of competency-based assessment. That being the need to assess 100% of the knowledge and skills identified by industry and how equally important it is for students to achieve this 100% competency. Again, my congratulations to the graduates, and we look forward to working with you further into the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. So the graduates will be receiving the following certificate shortly. And I will now show the list of graduates that I will ask Namgay to read out. Thank you.
Sangeet Doji, Karma Doji, and Bino Prasad Dahal, Chuki Doji, Damchit Tile, Kezang Paldon, Doji Tenzin, Tandin Doji, and lastly Chawang. Congrats.
Yes, sincere congratulations to that group, and we know how busy they were. So with different ministry tasks. So many thanks for making yourselves available, and I fully support Tim's word for having such an open conversation, which is really great. And a last round of applause to all graduates, as this is the end of our graduate event as such. So well done to everyone. And well done to the trainers as well. And we have several of them with us, Stephen and Som and Mr. Michael in absentia. But it's been really, really good to have had that experience, despite not everything being the most easygoing, but I think you all did exceptionally well given the circumstances. So I would like now to invite everyone to turn their cameras on and attempt to do a virtual group photo, which is never exactly what an in-person photo would be, but it would be wonderful at least to have that documented. So please, for those who can, turn your cameras on, and I'll try to take several shots and then to share them with you. Cheese. Just one more. Just bear with me. There are several pages, so I'm trying to capture every one of you. And one last one, we won't be long. Just a sec. It's wonderful to see how many participants we have today, which is wonderful to as well, because it really means that that there is such a great build up in skills among the Tibet professionals and the industry. So wonderful. Thanks very much. I hope that the photos worked. Fingers crossed. And this takes us to the end of our graduation ceremony today. So I would really like to say one big thank you for participating, for taking the time, for your hard work during the training, and thank you to also all the Mr. Ugendoji at the RIT, for Mr. Sangay at TTI Chimney, and all the people that we haven't mentioned, and all who also have been so supportive throughout the way. So we look forward to continuing to working with you all, and we thank again the Australian government for allowing us to do that. So have a lovely end of the day. We will be in touch, and goodbye for now.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eva. Congratulations, everybody.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank
Bye.
you. Congratulations.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you,
Thank
Dandy.
you.